Hey guys, this is Rocking3 bringing you the commentary Forza 5, and I'm going to be doing a tuning video here. And I've been working on some B class. I went through and did a league play on the B class and really struggled with it a little bit. I don't think I won, but a couple of, I think 2 out of 8 races. I got top 3 for all of them, but I struggled as far as trying to dominate it. I play on the pro level, but still I was really having a hard time. So I have a 2007 GT500 here on the screen, and I ended up making one that was a handling car, and it did okay. And like I said, I got the top 3 for the most part. The problem is I just never had enough speed. So what I want to try to do here is I want to try to upgrade that same GT500. So I bought another one, and I make my speed cars green. I won't put you through all this, but I bought all my normal parts. You can watch the other video on the C-Class car that I build out. But I buy all the platform for handling. I buy all the drivetrain. I buy bigger rims, actually, which are lighter in this one, and then I buy the spoilers as well. Wasn't able quite to put the compound in the wider tires that I wanted to, but I got a little bit of them done. So we're going right into the tuning. So what I want to go through here is what I'm basing this off of is now I don't want to do cornering. So what I did on the other one is I boosted them all the way up to the top, so I had good cornering. So I had more downforce on the rear and the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go the opposite way here. So I'm going to really reduce how much drag I have on the vehicle. So this will really help out my top speed. So if we look at the top speed 185.6, if I go all the way to the other side, it should calculate it, and I'm assuming it's going to be about 10 miles an hour slower maybe. Yep, about 10. So that was a pretty good guess there. So what we're going to do is we're going to crank this up. This will help with acceleration. This will help us with top speed. This will help us catch some of those people that are getting away from us. So with the front engine rear wheel drive car, we talked about this before. I always bump down the tire pressure on the front. If it's all wheel drive or front wheel drive, I might reverse those a little bit, get the fronts a little bit higher than the backs. But it just kind of really depends on the car. I'm looking for top speed here, and generally I can carry quite a bit of speed at about, put a 410 in here maybe, and that should give us enough acceleration and then enough top speed as well. Let's see, do an alignment. Again, this is real similar between all the cars that I build out. I'm going to be right in here. Since this is going to be bigger rear tires that I put on there, I usually go to about 0.9. I'm going to bring this all the way down to about neutral. I'm going to put it right at neutral actually. The front toe, again, I like to put just a little bit of positive one on there. That'll help me turn in the car a little bit. I'm going to probably oversteer a lot with this car with the horsepower and not having the downforce. But that's okay. My rear toe is always about -1. I might play with that later depending on how much it does dive in. I can kind of make it a little bit more stable by changing the rear part of that. And generally I play between 4.5 and 5.0 here. I'll just put that right in the middle for right now. We'll play that with a little bit later on the caster. What I find with no matter what setting it is, this is always going to be about 10 points too high. Going to put those right at the mark there, and then I usually do about half of this one. So when it comes out neutral, it just doesn't quite put it where you want to. So I'm going to put them both right at 19. It's good to keep those even for right now. We can play with those a little bit later too. The front springs, since it's such a heavy car, it comes with a very stiff spring, and this is actually way too high. Now what you can do is you can take it to about the middle. I'm going to take it a little bit lower this time. I'm going to bring it down. Since I'm going for a speed car, I'm going to bring it way down to soft here. And the reason why I want to do this is because the car is going to be really hard to control. It's going to try to kind of squiggle around a little bit. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find a really soft setting here. And I'll go pretty close to the same. I want to get a little bit stiffer in the rear since I have a little bit more horsepower back there. I don't want it to slide out. I'll just throw it about right there. So we got 527.5 and we got 550. Ride height I always bring all the way down. That's where I start. and I generally probably end up about one, maybe two bumps ahead, but that's only if I bottom it out. And only certain tracks do I really need to really worry about that. Bump strips, big bumps, things like that might bottom out a little bit, but I'm not too concerned about it. Rebound stiffness, I'm going to take this probably down to about a third as well, maybe a little bit over. Let's do maybe about a 6.0. And with the less horsepower car, generally the front is the biggest bar, and then the rear, and then the front bump stiffness is kind of lower, and then the rear stiffness is even lower. This one's a little bit different since it's a little bit higher horsepower and it's a heavier car. So I'm going to bring both of them down to about even together. Philosophy on this is it varies. Alright, so now I have that all the way down, and I know my brakes work pretty well. I'm going to leave them right there. Differential is a big thing, especially when you're talking high horsepower. So what's going to happen with this car is it's going to want to slide out a lot. Like anytime you hit the gas, it's going to slide out a lot. So I'm going to bring this way down. You can leave the deceleration a little bit higher. I'm going to do like a 30-40 on this, but taking that acceleration down on that top number is going to help me take longer curves while staying in the gas and not oversteering and falling off. So I'm going to go and apply this, and let's go and give this a test drive. Let's see how close we are. I showed you this one last time, so I'll just stick with it again. This will give me a good idea because there's a couple really long curves you're trying to get the car to dive in. Even though you're not on the gas all the time, you're still trying to get it to turn. And then this gives us a good brake test. And then we'll just get a real good idea where we're at. And then I can also change the tuning a little bit too on the fly. So first I'm going to heat up the tires. Alright, looks like I may not have taken that number low enough, but let's wait and really judge it until the tires heat up, front and back. And the car's definitely diving. We got that part of it right. Alright, let's see how kind of speed we can get out of this downhill. And I don't have it geared right. That'll work anyway. Alright, see right there, I'm into the gas in that long turn. That means it's still too much acceleration on the percentage on the acceleration. Car is definitely quick. Like this right here is a good one. I wasn't able to stay in full gas, but it's holding on. Okay, see what kind of speed we can get up the hill here. Yeah, nice, 120s. This is really fast up the hill. I'm used to about a 114 or so. Yeah, I definitely have the gearing off a little bit. Yeah, I'm just getting too much spin right there, so let me see if I can fix that real quick. Hang in there with me, guys. I'm going to go back over here to the differential. I'm going to bump it down to 20. I'm going to go ahead and pull that one down too. I'm not sure if the deceleration is hurting me on that. Brakes are good. Aero we're not changing. I'm going to change this one a little bit too. I don't want it to dive quite that much. It's turning pretty well. So I'm going to pull them both to neutral. Let's go ahead and apply that. Let's see what happens. As my tire temperature warms up too, we'll feel a difference, but I don't want to drive too many laps for you guys. I just want to give you guys an idea of where I'm at with it. Alright, now the car's not diving quite as much. We just made it a little bit worse, maybe. I don't know how much more I can take that number down, but let's go and tune it one more time, and let's change the gearing a little bit too. Let's go ahead and take this up to 440. And let's go ahead and take this down another 5% and see what happens. I'll take them both down 5. And I want to put that back in right there. I did like the turn, I just don't want it to slide out so much. Alright, gearing is still not perfect, but better. And I topped it out. Oh, you know what? I went the wrong way on the gearing. I was trying to get it done so quickly. Went the wrong way. I'm cooking now. Uh-oh. And I didn't get a good reading on that turn. This is definitely a speed car. No downforce at all. Alright. So I do like the 5th gear turn. That was pretty decent. I mean, I took a bad line, but it still held pretty well. All right, that's embarrassing on the gearing. Let me take that down to 370, maybe. Maybe that'll help. And resume. And try not to crash. Alright, now we're down. Yeah, I just cannot get that. It takes a lot of feathering around those corners. Getting some good speed out of the car, but it's still not quite doing what I want to. And I think that goes back to not being able to get the width and compound of the tire that I really wanted to get. The PI, I just ran out of points for it. That was not a perfect turn that it said. Yeah, alright, so it's diving in pretty good. I just got to work on getting that slide when I have the power completely on. Because I'd like to be able to hammer it down and not have to worry about feathering it. So I will work on that and give you guys some final numbers. If you guys check back, I'll update the comments below. But this is not a bad start for this car, and I'll have to go back and race one of those leagues and see if it allows me to catch up and stay ahead of people. But there you have it. There's a start with it. That is a Speed B-Class Shelby GT500, and why it says 596 there. I will have to go back and investigate that as well. Thanks a lot for listening, guys. If you have any cars that you want me to work on, I will show you the tune, work with you on the tune. And tell me what you're trying to do with it too. If you're trying to make it handle, if you're trying to make it fast, or kind of an in-between, a drivable fast car, just let me know. Thanks a lot for listening, guys, and we'll catch you later.